Hello everyone, welcome all to the e-lecture series Pharma Ignite, an initiative by LJ Institute of Pharmacy. I am Dr. Jignesh Shah, working as professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Quality Assurance at LJ Institute of Pharmacy. Now, dear students, in today's class, we will continue with the topic that is UV visible spectroscopy. Now, in the last class, we have gone with the Beers and Lambert's law and deviation from Beers and Lambert's law, where we have studied the relationship between the concentration of the sample, the path length in which the sample is present, through which the light is passing, and the absorption of the radiation which takes place. So there was a linear relationship which exists between the absorption and the concentration. Now, in this class, we will continue with the another topic, that is the chromophore concept. Now, all those compounds which absorbs light of wavelength between 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer, they appear colored to the human eye. Now, the exact color, it depends upon the wavelength of the light. So, what color we are going to see, that depends upon what is the wavelength of the light which is being absorbed by the compound, and that's the imparting color frequency to the solution. Now, originally a chromophore, it was considered as any system which was responsible for imparting color to the compound. For an example, in case of nitro compounds, the yellow color was because of the nitro group present in the sample. So here clearly nitro group was considered as chromophore because it was imparting yellow color. Now we are considering chromophore as a broad aspect. So if you consider chromophore as a broad aspect, we can say that chromophore, it is a part of a molecule which is responsible for imparting color. They are all known as chromosphere, or we can say that chromophore is an isolated covalently bonded group to the compound that shows characteristic absorption of radiation in the UV region. So basically, a chromophore would be covalently bonded to the molecule, and it is because of this chromophore that the absorption of the radiation it takes place. So ultimately, the absorption of the radiation by a compound, it takes place because of the presence of the chromophore. If a compound does not have chromophore, in that case it will not be absorbing the radiation. Now, there are various different functional groups which are capable to act as an chromophore. Now, the absorption occurs irrespective of the fact whether color is being produced or not. Now, some of the chromophores which are very important, they are ethylenic groups, acetylenic groups, carbonyl groups, nitrile groups. Now, carbonyl group, it is considered as one of the most important chromophore. The absorption of the light by such isolated carbonyl groups will have an effect on the color producing property of a compound. Now, if you consider the chromophores, then multiple bonds which are capable of absorbing radiation above 200 nanometer, such kind of functional groups, they can also act as a chromophore. They act as a chromophore because of N to pi star transition and pi to pi star transitions. So examples such as nitro groups, N double bond O groups, carbonyl groups, C double bond N, C triple bond N groups, or in case of alkenes, that is C double bond C, or in case of C double bond S group, such kind of functional groups, they are capable to act as a chromophore. Now, chromophore being a wide concept, it is further classified into two types. So chromophore are divided into two types. The chromophores which contains pi electrons. So basically a group which contains pi electrons, they are considered as one type of chromophore, and they will undergo pi to pi star transitions. Such chromophores are basically the acetylenic group or ethylenic group. Whereas there are also certain chromophores in which the group contains both pi electrons and n electrons, which are the non-bonding electrons. As a result, such type of chromophores, they have an ability to undergo two different types of transitions, that is pi to pi star transition and n to pi star transitions. It is mainly seen in case of carbonyl compounds. That's why carbonyl compound was considered as an important chromophore for a particular molecule. Now, discussing about oxochrome. So oxochromes are basically the functional groups which are attached to the chromophore, and they modify the ability of the chromophore to absorb the light, and it alters the wavelength or intensity of the absorption of radiation. So basically, we can define oxochrome as any group which does not itself act as a chromophore, but its presence, it will cause shifting of the absorption towards the red end of the spectrum, that is towards the longer wavelength. That's why it alters the wavelength of the absorption of the radiation. The absorption at the longer wavelength, it is because of the combination of chromophore and an oxochrome, and this combination will give rise to another chromophore. An oxochromic group is called color enhancing group also. So it enhances the color, and that's why it helps the chromophore to absorb at a longer wavelength. There are some examples of oxochromic groups such as OH group, hydroxy group, amine group, sulfhydryl group. So these are some important examples of oxochromic groups. So the functional group with non-bonding electrons, which itself does not absorb the radiation, but when they are attached to the chromophore, they will alter the wavelength and the intensity of the absorption of the chromophore. Such functional groups are known as oxochromes. Now here they have given one example, that benzene, if you take the absorption of benzene, then the lambda max is found around 255 nanometer. But if you take the phenol as an example, then the lambda max, it changes to 270 nanometer. So just by adding OH group to benzene, the lambda max will shift to a longer wavelength, that is from 255 nanometer to 270 nanometer. And if you add amine group to benzene, then the lambda max is further shifted to a longer wavelength, that is up to 280 nanometer. So this effect of oxochrome is because of its ability to extend the conjugation because of the presence of non-bonding electrons, and that's why they have an ability to alter the wavelength and the intensity of the absorption of the radiation. Now, moving towards some examples of chromophores. These are few examples of chromophores where we can find that there is presence of pi bond, that is carbon double bond carbon. Example is ethene, 1-hexene. Then there is a ketone group, or we can say nitromethane, methyl bromide or methyl iodide, which have an halogen, where we can see that there are different kind of excitation, that is pi to pi star excitation or n to pi star and pi to pi star excitation in different kind of solvents, that is hexane or ethanol. So these are some example of chromophoric groups which has an ability to absorb the radiation. Now, moving towards the another topic, that is absorption and intensity shift. Now, with change in the nature of the compound or with change in the solvent, we can find that there are different kind of intensity shifts, such as hyperchromic shift, hypochromic shift, bathochromic shift, and hypsochromic shift. Now these are different kind of shift, that is the change in the wavelength of the radiation which has been absorbed, that takes place in a particular compound. So we'll discuss the first one, that is the bathochromic shift. Now this bathochromic shift, it is also known as red shift. When the absorption maxima of the compound, that is the lambda max of the compound, when it shifts towards the longer wavelength. This is known as bathochromic shift or red shift. So if you see the diagram which has been given here, that is the change in the lambda max towards the right side or towards the longer wavelength, that is known as bathochromic shift. Now this shift in the absorption maxima towards the longer wavelength is because of the presence of an auxochrome, or it can also take place by change in solvent. Now such an absorption shift towards the longer wavelength is because of n to pi star transitions. So n to pi star transition, it leads to the bathochromic shift. Now opposite to bathochromic shift, the another shift is known as hypsochromic shift. Hypsochromic shift is also known as blue shift. So when the absorption maxima, that is the lambda max of the compound, it shifts towards the shorter wavelength, then it is known as hypsochromic shift, or it is also known as blue shift. Now this blue shift may be caused by removal of any kind of conjugation and also by changing the polarity of the solvent. So if you take an example of aniline, the absorption maxima, it is at 280 nanometer, but if the conjugation is removed, then in that case the absorption maxima may reduce from 280 nanometer to 210 nanometer. So this kind of thing is possible, this kind of shift is possible by removal of conjugation or by changing the polarity of the solvent. Now coming to another two types of shift, that is known as hyperchromic shift and hypochromic shift. Now both these type of shift, that is hyperchromic shift and hypochromic shift, in this case the lambda max will not change. The lambda max will remain constant, but the intensity of the absorption of the radiation will change. So when the absorption intensity of the compound, it increases, then it is known as hyperchromic shift. Now it is an effect due to which the absorption maxima increases, and this is mainly found in case of pyridine. So pyridine, in case of pyridine, an introduction of auxochrome, it increases the intensity of the absorption of radiation. The another type of effect that is opposite to hyperchromic effect, it is known as hypochromic effect. So when the absorption of the radiation, its intensity, it decreases by a compound, then it is known as hypochromic shift. So basically here there will be decrease in the intensity of the absorption of the radiation which will take place. Now introduction of any kind of group which distorts or changes the geometry of the molecule, then it may result in hypochromic shift. So for an example, if you change a biphenylic compound and if you destroy the biphenylic ring system of the compound, then in that case hypochromic shift will take place. So students, in the next class we will start with the instrumentation in case of UV visible spectroscopy. Please do follow our YouTube channel, that is Pharma Ignite, and thank you very much.